To minimize the loss to the customer or to the company due to the wrong installations, the given material should be studied thoroughly and applied in the field. Installation sequence for the Multi-V Plus air conditioner is as follows: site visit and scheduling, anchor and hanger, refrigerant piping, drainage piping, cable wiring, indoor unit installation, wired remote controller, outdoor unit installation, airtight, vacuum, additional charge, test run, closing jobs, customer guide and review. Before the installation of the air conditioner, complete working drawing including pipings and cablings, and visit the site and discuss with the customer. Confirm the installation site, building structure and interior, installation site for outdoor unit, installation of remote controller, electric wirings, etc., to prepare for the appropriate tools and materials thoroughly and meet the work schedule. It's more convenient to arrange hangers for the pipelines and cables before the ceiling construction. Make a hole of 14.5 millimeters diameter with 40 millimeters depth at the point of pipe's installation. Install a wedge anchor and attach a hanger. Hanger's interval should be less than 1.5 meters for refrigerant and should be 1 to 1.2 meters for drain pipe. Be careful, the copper pipe thickness differs depending on the refrigerant. Cover the pipe ends with caps to prevent foreign materials, and unfold pipes on a flat floor slowly to avoid crushing. Arrange insulation on the pipe not to make dew, and when you connect insulation, paint adhesive and use adhesive tape. Use rubber foamed insulation for refrigerating pipings. Use only the rated insulation as the dew-forming condition differs from every environment and insulation properties. Depending on the cooling performance, the insulation thickness for liquid line is more than 9 to 13 millimeters, for gas line is more than 13 to 25 millimeters. As this thickness should vary for every condition, installation should follow the standard manual. Before drilling a hole in the wall, make sure to confirm the customer if there are any other things inside the wall. While drilling the hole, be careful. To prevent the condensation, make sure that the hole has the downward gradient of more than 1/100th. In hanger works, be careful the insulation is not to be pressed and crushed. If the piping should be extended with brazing, it should be arranged by a qualified person only. Prepare the fire extinguisher against a fire. For extension of copper pipe, expand it for soft pipes or use sockets for straight hard pipes, and make sure the pipe is overlapped sufficiently. The brazing of flare to pipe and pipe to pipe without overlapping can be easily damaged. Avoid this kind of brazing. Nitrogen gas should be released during the copper pipe brazing to prevent the oxidation. Oxidized particles can block the pipe and cause the compressor defect. For refrigerant branch, we can use a Y branch or a header branch. The distance between the branches and between the branch and indoor unit is more than 500 millimeters. For Y branch installation, horizontal is the best. If there is no way other than vertical, make it at right angles. For header branch, the second distribution is impossible. Install indoor unit at the same or below the header level. To minimize the capacity differences of the indoor units, make sure the difference in the length of fraction pipe is minimum. And also, the indoor unit with bigger capacity is recommended to connect closer to outdoor unit. After the connection, block and braze the left fraction pipes to prevent leakages. The following is examples of refrigerant distribution. Multi-V Plus distributes refrigerant in two ways of Y branch and header branch. The total length of the pipe is under 220 meters for R22 model, 300 meters for R410A. The longest pipe L is under 100 meters for R22, 150 meters for R410A. And after the first fraction, the longest pipe is 30 meters for R22, 40 meters for R410A. And also the height difference between indoor units and outdoor units should be within 50 meters if the outdoor units are higher, and 40 meters if the indoor units are higher. The height difference between indoor units is within 15 meters. The first branch, A, should have the same diameter as the service valve. Each refrigerant pipe B, C, and D has different diameters for liquid gas pipes depending on the total capacity of indoor unit. Insert a pipe into an expanded one and braze them with melted solder, releasing nitrogen gas into the pipe. Remove the detachable paper from the insulation and paint some adhesive on the other side to wrap up the Y branch. Stick finishing tape on the adhered part first and wrap it all. After piping work, block the high and low pressure pipe ends by welding to have airtight test. Do not use caps or insulation tape for that. Connect the ends to nitrogen pump and charge the gas up to the prescribed value. This pressure should remain high for 1 hour without any loss. PVC pipe should be for water supply and have more than 25 millimeters of inner diameter. Use only fire-retardant PE insulation with a thickness of more than 10 millimeters. If the inner diameter is too big, condensing and drain leakage occurs. For connecting insulations, protect the pipe to be exposed directly to the air with aluminum tape. When extending drain pipe, use extension socket and adhesive not to make a leakage. For an easy water flow, arrange a downward gradient of more than 1/50th to 1/100th. Install an air vent for a common drain line or a long drain line to make a good water flow by the pressure difference. If the ceiling is not leveled, laser leveler will be convenient and helpful. After the drain line installation, confirm drainage and leakage by pouring some water into the line. Don't use anti-freezing solution for leakage test in winter. The indoor and outdoor unit needs separate power supply. In starting wiring work, check if the circuit breaker exclusive for air conditioner is installed properly or not first. Transmission cables between outdoor and indoors and between outdoors should be connected like this figure. All the power and transmission cables should meet the standards. Insert them into the non-retardant tube and close the openings for installation. If you install the power line and the transmission line close to each other, there might be defect in the system because of the noise. That is why you must keep at least 50 millimeters of distance between them. Therefore, you should not put the both lines into one tube. Fix the remote controller wire with cable cover, and the wire should not be connected reversely. Remote controller should use only one cable without a joint on the way to prevent electrical noise. For installing indoor units, please refer the manuals and videos for each models except the wiring. For the wiring work, refer following. Disassemble control cover and cord clamp for cable connection. Terminal type connection is used to prevent the contact resistance defect in the wire connection. To avoid a wrong wiring, check the diagram first. Connect indoor power line and communication cables. For grounding this communication cables from each indoor unit, peel out cables, combine them, and connect using terminal. Connect the wired remote controller. Arrange and fix cables with cord clamps. Then fix the control cover. You must install wired remote controller for ceiling cassette, low and high static duct products. Wired remote controller should be installed to detect average room temperature at 1.5 meters height and have minimum space of 30 millimeters each direction from the controller for cover open state. The following spaces should be avoided. Separate the underplate from the body carefully. It can be easily broken. Attach insulation on the back surface and select slide switch position for the installation condition. Choose remote controller selection to control room temperature from the remote controller sensor. Choose indoor unit selection to control temperature from the indoor unit sensor. And to thermistor from the both. In 2 thermistor control, cooling mode is operated by indoor unit thermistor and heating mode by the lower value of the 2. When selecting ceiling height for ceiling cassette, the low is for the height of below 3.2 meters with decreasing air volume. The standard is between 3.2 meters and 4.0 meters without change in air volume. The high is over 4.0 meters with increasing air volume. In ceiling contained duct, choose the selection switch of zone and default external static pressure like these. V-L is for the changeable air volume and low static mode. F-H is for fixed air volume and high static mode. If it has a zone controller, fan speed doesn't change for the damper operation. V-H is for the changeable air volume and high static mode. If it has a zone controller, fan speed change according to the damper operation. In operation mode select, we have 2 selections, one for cooling only, another one for cooling and heating both. In group control select, single control makes control only for 1 indoor unit and group control for more than 2 with 1 remote controller. Fix the underplate on the wall with screws. Connect the cord to controller, attach the body to the plate, and arrange the protection cover for the cord. The considerations for installing outdoor unit are mass noise, base, lower middle part, vibration, installation and service space, channel and pipe, interception from nearby building, air circulation. You must consider all these points to prevent damage to the product. For installation and service, you need the minimum space of at least 900 millimeters to the front, 250 millimeters to the back, and 150 millimeters to the side. And also, the wall should not be higher than the product. If it should be higher, you must give more space to the front, back, and side. If there are obstacles in the upper side, you need space like this. When you lift up the outdoor unit, use ropes putting it into the lower supporter in front and back side of the outdoor unit to prevent damage. Fix the outdoor unit with bolt so that it does not tilt over by strong wind. Use H-beam for the main support and anti-vibration pad to cut the vibration. The gap between the anchor bolt on the supporter of outdoor unit are 500 millimeters for front and back line of 5 horsepower. For 10 horsepower, 900 millimeters, and the distance between front and back should be 700 millimeters. If you combine more than 2 outdoor units, the distance of anchor bolt between each product is 383 millimeters. Install tubing tray with anti-corrosion materials such as hot dip galvanized or stainless steel above 200 millimeters from the ground to protect refrigerant pipe and wirings from drainage, moisture, and corrosion. Disassemble lower front panel. You can connect refrigerant pipe and wiring in two ways. For the front way, connect after removing pipe cover or cutting knockout. For the side way, remove side knockout before you connect. Cut and connect the copper pipe by the measured length to the service valve. To cut the copper pipe, rotate the cutter 2 turns clockwise and then tighten it once slowly so as not to make deformation. After cutting, burrs must be removed with a scraper, otherwise it will cause the leakage. The pipe end is to be downward so as to prevent burrs and chips from entering into the pipe. Smaller pipes up to 19.05 millimeters of diameter can be flared for connection in refrigerant piping. Bigger pipes are recommended to use brazing with expansion or socket for connection. After cutting the pipe, insert the nut. Put the pipe in the flaring bar. The dimensions can differ with the size of the pipe, so flaring should be done after confirming the pipe diameter. Flare contact should be tight and accurate, otherwise the leakage problems can occur from the flared part. Remove nut and cap from the service valve and tube until just before the fitting. Earlier removal will make troubles like allowing foreign materials into pipes. Line the branch distributor unit socket and flare center close to each other and join with hands before tightening it with the torque wrench to given specification. In case the torque applied is not within the specification range, leakage can occur. To extend copper pipe with brazing, expand it for soft pipes or use sockets for straight hard pipes. And make sure the pipe is overlapped sufficiently. Brazing is done by the flow of melted solder into the overlapped pipe. During brazing, protect service valve with wet towels and check the brazing state after finishing it. For installation with more than 2 outdoor units, arrange common high and low pressure pipes in order to maintain balance between the units. Branch pipe is connected between the outdoor units and connected again to indoor units. Cover high and low pressure refrigerant pipe with insulation to avoid dew. Disassemble control cover for cable connection. Terminal type connection is used to prevent the contact resistance defect in the wire connection. Check the wiring diagram to prevent the wrong wiring. Connect power line to outdoor unit and transmission line between outdoor units and indoor unit by the diagram. The connection of transmission line with more than 2 outdoor units is like the following. For grounding this transmission cables from each indoor unit, peel out cables, combine them, and connect earthing terminal. And also, when installing more than 2 units, you must connect main power supply to main outdoor unit and sub-outdoor unit. Finally, check all the wiring status and fix the cord clamp. If outdoor units are more than 2, set dip switch and combined operations. For the main unit, set up all 8 switches. First subunit set, number 5 switch on. Second subunit set, number 6 on. For one outdoor unit model, charge nitrogen gas after connecting high and low pressure service valve. Pressure gauge and nitrogen tank using high pressure hose. For 2 or more outdoor unit models, charge nitrogen gas after connecting sharing pipe additionally. Check the leakage with soap bubbles and confirm the pressure maintains the same pressure for 24 hours. Vacuuming work must be done to remove the air and moisture from inside the pipe, otherwise the unit performance can be decreased. In case the same manifold gauge is used for R22 and R410A, then there is a danger of product malfunction, so make sure that separate manifold gauges are used for R22 and R410A. For one outdoor unit model, vacuum after connecting manifold gauge to the high and low pressure service valve and common hose of the gauge to the pump. For 2 or more outdoor unit models, vacuum after connecting sharing pipe additionally to the gauge. Confirm the high-low pressure valve of the manifold gauge is closed, and then start the vacuuming operation. Slowly open the low pressure valve of the manifold gauge. After the vacuuming degree has lowered to 5 torr or 5,000 micron, then 1 hour more vacuuming is done. If it does not reach to 5 torr, it means there is a leakage or moisture and should be cleared and re-vacuumed. It is more convenient to check leakage with a digital vacuum gauge. After vacuuming, close the valve for 1 hour and check whether the vacuum is maintained below 5 torr or 5,000 micron without leakage. If the power supply is off during vacuuming operation, or the manifold gauge valve is not closed before the power off, the vacuuming pump oil can flow into the product and cause damage. A one-way valve can be used for that. In case of the long pipe installation, additional refrigerant is to be charged. Calculate the needed amount of refrigerant according to the liquid pipe diameter and additional length. Connect the middle hose of manifold gauge to the gas bulb and open its valve. Purge out the air in the hose and put the bulb on the digital balance. Set the balance value to 0 and open the valve to charge. Close it when the calculated amount is charged. While separating the manifold gauge, make sure not to touch the refrigerant. Use gloves. Heating the bulb with fire can make explosion. Check if the ELB of the air conditioner is proper for the rating and standards, and connect the power lines. In connection, use terminals not to make a connection failure. Check the wiring diagram before connection to prevent wrong wiring, and make sure that the wires will not be loosened with a slight force. Before the test running, check the power connections with a multimeter. If any one of phase R, S, or T is connected wrong to phase N line, the control part breaks down. For more than 2 units of outdoor units, the cable connection of indoor units to circuit breaker should be balanced in loads to each R, S, and T phase. The main circuit breaker will operate when they're not balanced. In case the power line is not grounded, request the customer to get the grounding done by calling the local electric company. If everything is ready, confirm that both service valves opened and no gas leakage occurred. Then connect the power of circuit breaker. In winter, in order to warm up the compressor heater, you must connect main power 6 hours before the operation. If needed an additional adjustment, the ceiling concealed duct Can change the fan speed following the static pressure value. The procedure is as follows. First, press Run Stop button to start the product, and then press Reservation button for more than 3 seconds. For example, for the low static sealing concealed duct with 1 mm of static pressure in low air speed, set the value to 135 by pressing the temperature up and down. And press Reservation button for more than 3 seconds to save the data. During this setting, the compressor is off to protect the product. To make auto addressing process, wait 3 minutes after the power on. And press SWO2M switch on the control board for 5 seconds. Then the indoor unit auto addressing will start indicating 88 on the segment LED. This addressing takes from 2 to 7 minutes depending on the numbers of indoor units. After the setting, the number of connected indoor units will be indicated for 30 seconds on the segment LED of control board. And also the address of each unit will be indicated by CH01 and CH02, etc. They will disappear when you press power button of remote control. At about 1 minute later after the power input, set the dip switch of main outdoor unit like the following. For cooling mode, set the dip switch of 1, 7, and 8 to on, and press data confirm switch. Then ST letter appears on the segment LED. Set the dip switch of 7 and 8 to off to start cooling test run. For heating mode, set the dip switch of 1, 2, 7, and 8 to on and press data confirm switch. Then ST letter appears on the segment LED. Set the dip switch of 7 and 8 to off to start heating test run. During the test run, check the indoor unit indicator, abnormal noise, and other running status. Check the drainage line and review the flows. After the test run, set the dip switch of 1 and 2 to off, then reset the power. When checking various kind of running status, in order to check operations with the LG MV program, which is LG Multi-V Monitoring Viewer, connect cable between the control board and computer and check all the values needed. Wrap the flared and connected parts of piping with insulation, not to touch the air directly. And finish connecting parts of drain line with insulation too. And the air vent needs coverings with metal net to protect from worms and rats, etc. Connect service port cap and valve cap of high-low pressure shared pipe and service valve of indoor unit. Fasten every cap of service valves and service port. In order to protect exposed pipe from outer environment, fix the pipe tray cover. Clean the indoor and outdoor installation site and collect the garbage. Request the customer to call the installation agency in case of any problems in the initial days of operation, and then leave the place after confirming the installation environment. For more information and inquiries about installation, please contact LG Air Conditioning Sales Supporting System.